Hello, my sisters. Hello, my queens. Hello, my black queens on the rise. Hi, patience. Hello, calm. Hi, chosen. Hello, anointed. Hi, experience. Hello, knowledge. Hi, blessed. Hi, blessings. How are you guys doing today? Hello to all the Miss Do Betters out there who have taken what's inside of them and moved on to better pastures. Hello to my sobriety police out there. Keep up the good work. Uh, the world needs you because we have a lot to contribute to our communities and the world. Yes, we do. Hello. How are you doing, Power? Powerful, how are you? Hello, Shirley Good and Mercy. Yes. I see Tendon Lovely Care on the set. All right. As you do know, Jesus is in the building. How do you do? And I know you can feel him in the atmosphere. My queens, I love you very much. Hello to the audience and listeners of Podcast Land. How are you doing? Very special podcast today. Oh, really, it is. Hello, hello, hello to encouragement. Hello to experience. Hello. Hello to the teacher. Thank you. Thank you, teachers. How are you doing? That's awesome. Okay. I was led to do this podcast because it is very important that we get a very clear understanding of things that people claim to be and why they do things that they do. Okay. Now, over time, I'm sure you have heard a lot of people say that they are a product of their environment. And I guess they say that to get sympathy from the judge or someone who actually believes that because it's not something that is true. Because when you look up the definition to environment, okay, it is like the conditions that surrounds a person, animal, or plant. So it's like where they are. That's an environment. Okay. And people are often saying that they are a product of the environment. I find that to be not true. I do. I feel like they are a product of who they are on their own. Because if you look at this thing, poverty, okay, they say that black on black crime is really caused by the negativity in their minds and the environment and poor, that they're in poor conditions. I beg to differ because there have been so many celebrities who have come from poverty and they made it. Just to name a few here, we got Condoleezza Rice, Raphael Warnock, we have Mary J. Blige. You feel me? Just to name a few who grew up in hoods or projects. And their end result in life was because of a decision that they made to do better, to have more, want more, thirst for it, crave for it. That's what they wanted. So they did not become a part of an environment. That is not true. It isn't. The conditions in any environment, if it's not good conditions, then the people should get together, go to City Hall, join in on the little community meetings that the aldermen and women and the mayor and other high officials go to, and they need to make statements and tell them to fix the roads and the trees, do something with the abandoned buildings, because those could be conditions in an environment. But a person themselves, I beg to differ. I believe they are the way they are because that's what they want to be. And I look and I see how the hatred is. And what I find is that people like that have insecurities, personal insecurities about themselves. So before we came along to be a target, they already hated themselves because they can't get on the good foot. They talk a good game. Oh, I'm a do, but they never do it. And then when they see someone else doing these things, they hate. I want you to keep this in mind, okay? The word hater is in the Bible. A saint told me that if you pray for where you are at, the place will improve, and that would bless you too, because you're there. And I've stated this, look, environment where people, plants, and animals live. I've never seen two cats fighting each other over a female cat. I've never seen two male cats shoot each other or shoot at each other or interrupt a baseball game that children are at or a soccer game. I see people do that. I've never seen a tree and a bush going at it. Knock down, drag out fight. Never seen that before in my life. Never seen the street and the sidewalk hating on each other. So when people say this thing about they're a product of their environment, that no. You are a product of your own self because you can't move forward because what has happened is you have gotten comfortable with the way you live in. You have gotten comfortable with just hanging out all summer long instead of finding you a job, something to help your mom out with your school clothes, bettering your education, like going higher in your education. See, decisions are made every day, and everyone has opportunity. So if you miss your opportunity, that does not mean you are a product of your environment. Because just like I said before when I started, just to name a few, Mary J. Blige, Condoleezza Wright, Raphael Warnock, all of them grew up in poverty. Okay? So there you have a world renowned singer and actress and producer in Mary J. Blige. In Raphael, you have a senator. In Condoleezza Wright, she was the Secretary of State. So it's to me, I see that it's your mind, your brain, how you move your feet, what you do with your youth and your time. That's what I see. I don't see you being a product of the environment. And that's real talk. Really is. If you decide to you just going to drop out of school, what you need to know before you make that decision is life is going to change. And without education, it's going to be hard for you. Time will go on and you will not move. The world will keep on spinning and you will be stuck where you at. And then you'll be saying you can't win. You can win if you put your mind on it. You can win because you are not a product of your environment. No. And I believe that's why when people are in these situations, when they get in these situations where they go to court and they say this, and the judge don't pay that any attention because the judge knows she or he might have came from poverty as well. Lawyers. There are lots of lawyers who come from poor environments, but they put their mind to it and said, I'm not going to live like this as an adult. As an adult, I'm going to make sure that I'm stable, well above my means to take care of myself, my business, my children. It's all about the decisions that we make in life that determines our life. And just like you go to the bank and you put money in the bank, what are you putting into your life bank? Because if your life bank is empty, that's your fault. If you haven't put into your life bank prosperity, responsibility, if you haven't put those things into your life bank, then your life will be empty. Happiness should go in your life bank. Experience should go into your life bank. Knowledge should go into your life bank. Because I see that people will repeat something someone else did that was negative and that person failed doing it. A lot of people do that. It's very few people who look at successful people and they become successful people. Whatever you set your mind to doing on a daily basis, that is exactly who you are in the end. So, right now, I want you to know this: it is not where you start, it's how you end. Because people could come from very wealthy families, start off with that silver spoon in their mouth, and end up dirt poor in the end because they didn't manage their life right. They had some money in the bank, but in their life bank, it was empty. No morale, none, no couth, no respect for themselves. And a person could start out poor and end up very wealthy. So, no, I'm not going to accept anyone saying that they are a product of their environment. No, you're not. You decide. Because if you decide to put yourself in a better environment, that's what you would, that's exactly what you would do. You will not adapt to the negativity. You will not adapt to someone else's life. You will not be a puppet. When you don't have a full, limitless life bank, you will waste time. You will waste time not doing nothing. And you will become a hater of those who are strong in your environment. Everyone has the equal opportunity for education, Yes, they do. Everyone does. I commend people who did leave school because they were caught up. I commend them because they go back to school and get a GED. They didn't give up on themselves. They did not become a hater of people who are successful. Someone said before that the hood has claimed a lot of talents. I beg to differ on that one too. I know a guy once, he was great at football in high school, and he sold drugs as well. He had a scholarship to go play ball professionally, but he didn't do that. He decided that he wanted to be a drug dealer instead. He went to prison for life. He missed out on the opportunity, not because of his environment, because of who he is, who he was at that time. It's your choice, it's your decision to get ahead and make your life great. Because if your life is empty, you're not putting anything in it. And you cannot go around blaming people either. You can't blame your mother, your father, your sisters and brothers. You can't blame your friend. You can't blame anyone but you. So when you put into your life, babe, responsibility, when you put there happiness, knowledge, wisdom, and learn from your mistakes, learn from watching other people make mistakes. That's what I do. I am 51 years old. I'm living my best life because that's what I chose. When I was an addict, that's what I chose. Now I live in sobriety, life on life terms, because that's what I chose. In the environment, my neighborhood, my city, I chose life over loss. I am not a product of the environment, and neither are you. So stop saying that and dig within yourself and do better. There's a lot of Mr. Do Betters too out here in the world who grew up in poverty. Herschel Walker, all of these people come from poor beginnings, but they put themselves together and they became successful because that's what they set their mind on. That's what they did. I know a woman who parents was on drugs back in the 80s, and every night she ate pork and beans and bar S hot dogs. Every night that's what her dinner was for her and her siblings. She grew up to be a nurse, a head nurse. She has a business. She owned her own land and her house. Her children are going to college. She raised a school teacher. She raised a businessman. And she has a scholar in her young child. Now you're talking about a woman who grew up in real poverty with the lights getting cut out and everything, gas, all that. But she chose that she wasn't going to live that life. And she does not eat pork and beans and hot dogs. And she will not give them to her kids. It's a reminder. She's very successful. Very. And we grew up in a neighborhood with poverty. You're not an environment. You're a person. Check that. Do something better. And this is for young people here too, because see, you have a lot of youth that you waste. You can see really well with your eyes. You don't have any internal problems. So don't give up on yourself. Go for the gusto, young people. Do that because it's not about how many women you can get. Okay, young man? It's not about your deep voice. That none of those things make you a man. That gun, that temporary cash. None of those things make you a man. And ladies, you have beautiful bodies. Of course you do. But that doesn't make you a woman either. It doesn't make you a woman to open up and let someone in. That doesn't make you a woman. It's what you do that makes you a man or a woman. We're going to have to stop that. You're going to have to. Saying that you're a product of your environment. You're not. There are so many success stories that come out of the hood. It is. You will be amazed if you go down the list of success that came from the hood. We are what you call a rare beauty because our journey was beautiful. Yeah, we went through a lot of things, but look at us now. And of course, we're going to have haters. They have to hate it because they can't do anything else. When I look at our brothers and sisters who come from other countries and they come to America and they make it, they start to own things. They could get loans. They own stores in our neighborhoods, and you're there all your life, and you have nothing to show for it. And these people come from far away country to America and sit you down. They could take to the bank money. You can't take your street credit to the bank and get a loan. I hope you know this, okay? You cannot do that. And you're always fighting. Stop that. Focus. Focus on something that's going to build you up. Because as long as you're focusing on someone who is rising and going up the success level, you're going to stay there. I know a lot of people who are people's biggest regret. And let me tell you what I mean. They regret that they hurt that person. They regret that they took advantage of them. They regret it because they clean up and they do good. Really. So if you are claiming to be a product of your environment, you are not. You are a product of you, who you want to be. Single moms have raised up presidents, senators. Single mothers have did that. Single fathers have been successful as well. And it wasn't because of their environment. It was because they wanted better and more. They grew up in poverty. They refused to die in it. They refused to not be able to provide for themselves or their families. There are people like that. In the hood, yeah, you got thugs and backwards people down there, but you also got some scholars. You have people that have multiple talents. And when we put our mind to it, we do it because we don't claim to be a product of our environment. There are better things to do over the summer. It really is. And the young people, you all need to know this. You young people that's in these inner city areas, you need to know that all that time that you're wasting doing nothing but nonsense, you could put all of that time and energy into bettering yourself because nothing won't change in your life until you change. And that's what will happen. All of that picking and gossiping and keeping the people down that's trying to get out of there, you don't know who you're hindering. Because that person, that one little person that you're trying to hold back and put down could be the person to save your life, to save your environment, to bring better things in that place. We need leadership, not weak leadership, because, like I said, you cannot take your street credit to the bank and get a loan. You cannot do that. You claim to be the general of the hood, a soldier. No, you're not. And you're always saying you got ops. People in the military got ops. You in the hood, you have haters. You have someone who don't want to see you rise up. I tell young people this: if you want to fight, join the army. Because in the army, you'll become successful. Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard. One thing that hurt me the most is a couple of weeks ago when I saw that the Job Corps all over the world has been shut down. There were kids there who were homeless. Job Corps is a college to people who live in poverty because not only are they going to school, they're being trained for a profession and they get a stipend and they live there. When you have a base, you could start. And a base is your house. The base is your bed and that pillow. Once you get rest overnight, you can go on and hit a home run because of the base. You're at home base. And when that ball of life comes towards you, you gotta smack it. Smack it out of the ballpark and make a home run. Because that's what people like me do. We do not accept defeat before the challenge. We do not. We try because we know that nothing beats a try but a fail. And I see that if you keep trying, you keep dreaming, your dreams will come true. And you will not be a follower, you'll be a leader. And you won't be a hater either because you'll have resolved your issues. You've gone and faced the facts of who you are, what you represent, and who you answering to. In some of these cases, someone can tell them to jump, and they'll be like, how high? Because they're a puppet. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you begin, as long as you finish greatly, finish good. Make your mother proud, your grandmother proud. Give your aunties and uncles bragging rights. I know you've heard lots of success stories about the youngest one going to college and graduating because the other ones didn't. They gave up on life and they grew up in the same house with the same mother in the same community, or you want to say environment. But they are the first to graduate from the family out of their mother's 5 children, 3 children. They're the first to graduate high school and go to college with a scholarship. Mama didn't even have to pay for it because that child was smart. That child did not let the people in the environment influence them to take a wrong path in life. Just because their big brothers did it didn't mean that it was in them. It has to be in you. Success. Success. It's all about what's in you, how you thrive, what you want, what you need. You're not a product of your environment. You're a product of how you chose to live. And your life bank is empty because you didn't put anything in it. And there are people who will see you and take advantage of the fact that your life bank is empty so they can use you to do things for them that aren't right. There was a group of guys, young boys, 15 and 16, and they had a friend, at least that's what they thought. And the friend told them about something he used to do when he was coming up. He would pretend that he had a job just so he can get out the house. He even went so far as to get a uniform from Burger King, McDonald's, Crystals. And when he got the uniform, he did not go to work at that job. He did illegal things, bad things, like taking advantage of old people, robbing them, knocking them out cold, watching them go to the ATM to get money, threatening them that they better get it. And the little boys, before they knew this, they admired his car, they admired his house, they admired the many women he had coming out, in and out of it, the way he dressed, how he always had money, but that was how he got it. So he told these 5 kids what to do. One of them did it to the extreme. All of them did it. But just this one, he got addicted to doing it. And so one night in the evening, he saw an old man that he had been watching. He caught him in the cut, boxed him in his head several times till he knocked him out. He robbed the old man and he got away with it at that moment. But the thing is this, that old man had children who lived far away. He had grandchildren and great grandchildren and great great grandchildren. He wasn't your ordinary elderly little black man. He came from something. He had a base when he was a boy. And that's why he was able to send his children to college. And with their success and appreciate what their father had done, they sent their children to college. And the success went on and on. But this guy, he knocked this old man out. And he was in the hospital in a coma. So his children came to the hospital, his grandchildren and his great grandchildren. And they were crying over him because he was in a coma. This guy had hit him so hard that it cracked his skull and broke his jaw. He did not make it. He died. And his grandsons and his sons wanted revenge. So they went back into the neighborhood where all this happened. They started to ask questions. People pointed them to the guy that they hung out with, their influence. When they got to him, they did him in. They wanted to know which one of them killed their father, their grandfather, their great grandfather. They beat him up so bad till he told. And they persisted to keep whooping him. Thing is this, when they found out where he lived, they didn't want to bring harm to his mother or his sisters. They waited for him who enjoyed and bathed in what he had done, spent the money right. So he's on his way out the door again. His mother sitting there with a friend and they're talking. And his mom, she's like, oh my God, I am so proud of my son. He got a job, girl. He helping me with the bills, girl. Yes. So he turns around, look at his mother and say, hey mom, I'll see you after I get off work. I'm not going to get in till about 1. She didn't question it because he was bringing home money. Soon as he left out that door and started walking that path, that old man's grandsons and son killed him. 10 minutes later, the police came and knocked on her door. And they told her what had happened. And she was in denial because she said, no, my son just went to work. He works at Burger King, so you got to have the wrong house. And then when they called out his name, she knew it was her child. She had no idea of what he was doing. None. So they buried him at the tender age of 16. Didn't try. So my thing with you guys is this. Take a look in the mirror and start with that person. When you want to change, start with the person in the mirror. Look at your hands every day and ask yourself, what have I done with these hands all day? With these lips, with this tongue, these eyes, your ears, your leg, your feet. What have you done with the brain in your head. That right there alone and in itself will tell you that you are a product of your own self, not your environment. You are a product of you. Everyone has the opportunity to go to school to be successful. Everyone has the gift of free will, and everyone has choices. So, whatever you choose, that's who you are. Your decisions is who you are. So, when you're alone, you'll know exactly who you are. You will. And a lot of you will not like it, but you will accept it. Especially if after you hear this podcast, you will accept it. And then start with the change. Start with that. And I guarantee you, it'll work out just fine. This is a whole summer going on, guys. So what are you going to do with that youth? You're going to waste it being a puppet, a potential absorber of other people's ways. What about you? Do you know where you're going to? Do you like what life is showing you? Do you know? Ask yourself, what do I want to be doing? And I want you to look out 10 years from now. Some of you will be 25, some of you will be 30, some of you will be 27, 21. Look out for the 10 years that's going to hit you and what you will want to be doing in that time. If you want success, you need to start now. Stop talking about it and do it. If you want a better life, start doing that. If you got to break away from the crowd you with, do that. Because it's all about the company you keep. That's another way to know who you are. Change starts with the person in the mirror. Live off of your own emotions. Strive for better. Do this. Do it. You already know the justice system is set up against us. When are you going to prove statistics wrong? When are you going to take and defeat the odds? When are you going to do that? When? I tell you, you may be talking a good game, but your actions speak louder than your words. And you are not a product of the environment. Thank you, my people. I love you so much. This has been Denise Jenkins with another edition of PLM, People Like Me. Real talk with Denise Jenkins. Really. Please share, like, and subscribe. Recommend this podcast because it is our Father's podcast. I am Denise Jenkins. I am the keeper of my sisters. Therefore, I shall keep my sisters out of trouble. I will love on them. I will share my experience with them. I would never talk about them. I'm in the building business. So, whoever you are and you want change, start with you. Start there. Peace out.